So, is there anyone or anything you would like to have a new experience with? Be a person, a place, a thing. Maybe it's frustrating going into the grocery store. There's always lines. There's not enough checkers. It's too busy. Maybe it's an experience with a relative, like a sister or mother or ex, where there's some kind of emotion that's like stored every time you re-interact with this thing or person or place. And just if you'd be willing to take a shot at releasing that emotion and not picking it up and putting it onto your next interaction with that person, place, or thing. So please feel free to pick anything. It doesn't have to be something intense, it could be something light. Though any person, place, or thing that you've got this emotional storage about that you'd be willing to try having a new experience with. So take a moment to pick something. And when you hold this thing in mind, what are you carrying with it emotionally? And could you, just for now, go behind the story about what you're holding in mind and experience the emotion? Allow the emotion to have your focus. And is there any predicting the same emotion will come up again the next time you interact with this person, place, or thing? Does it seem like every time you have an interaction with them that this will be the same? It's going to keep recurring. And that's okay. Could you go behind the story and just allow that emotion, the energy that's moving when this is held in mind? Could you let it be there without trying to change it or explain it? Just feel that feeling for right now. And would you be willing, could you have the courage to release it? Feel it fall away? Would you release it if you could and have a new experience, a blank slate, this person, place, or thing? When could you free this feeling, free yourself, and free them or that? And Holding this person, place, or thing in mind, what emotion are they wearing? You approach this person, place, or thing, and it's like that feeling's already there before you've even met them. It's familiar. Oh, I felt like this before when I interacted with this person. And it's like you feel it already on the way there. Could you go behind the story and just witness that emotion that's carried? Feel it. And could it be that this feeling is a record of a past experience that might not have anything to do with the future, even though it might seem like it? And could you allow that feeling record, whatever's been carried, just by feeling it? And is there a particular place you have the sensation of this feeling, this emotion? Maybe in your solar plexus, your throat, could be anywhere. And could you dive into that? Just go into the feeling storage, feel it, witness it. And is there more you could feel, more you could check out? And could you let whatever emotion this person or you seem to be carrying, this thing, would you let any of that emotion that seems to be around that release? And yes or no is fine. Would you release it if you could? Put in a new tape for that next interaction. When could you? And so let's, for a moment, consider this same person, place, or thing. Now, if you could choose any kind of new experience with it, with them, what would it feel like? Maybe easy, maybe loving, maybe just chill. But you could put any new emotion, any new experience that you want on this person, place, or thing. What would you put there if you could choose anything? And is there any resistance to having an experience with that, with them of this frequency? Is there any holding back or stuffing that new frequency before you even meet again? And if so, could you allow that resistance? Could you resist more? Resist this positive or chosen frequency more? And could you allow that resistance to just be there? Resist having a new frequency with this next interaction, with what was held in mind. And could you, just for now, let it go? You never have to. And would you let go of that resistance? When could you have a new experience? When you choose, instead of a record of something not here anymore. And again, what have you held in mind, person, place, or thing? And you can put anything on it for your next round with it. What would you put on that person, place, or thing? What kind of emotion, kind of feeling, kind of experience would you choose if you could choose anything? And it's okay to have some resistance. Is there any resisting putting a positive or new experience, a new frequency, a new feeling on your next interaction? And could you make that resistance bigger? Really resist a new experience of your choosing, that positive feeling or whatever you chose to feel next time you run into this or them. Could you resist more? And could you drop the resistance? Yes or no? Either one's fine. Would you drop it if you could? You never have to. And when could you drop the resistance and create something new next time with this or that or them? And holding that same person, place, or thing in mind, what are you wearing to the interaction emotionally? You're getting ready to go see them do that, go there. Have you already suited up with some kind of feeling? And that's totally okay without judging it or moralizing about it. Could you see what you're wearing emotionally? What feeling you're carrying before you've even gone in? Could you notice the prediction, the creation from this frequency, this transmission, and own it? Feel it as best you can. Could you make that feeling bigger? Okay, if not, just could you? And feel it. And you never have to. So, could you quit wearing that emotion? Would you let go of that baggage before you go in for the next interaction, if you could? When could you Stop creating from that old frequency by releasing it. Now, later, never. Anytime's fine, and you never have to. And you remember how many times with this thing, place, person you've held in mind, you've had that experience and the feeling of that experience. Could you notice any attachment to it, any predicting it, any insisting it's going to happen again? And could you go behind the story, just ignore the thoughts and notice the emotion? Welcome the emotion if possible, or just notice it. Where is it carried? Maybe in your stomach, chest, could be anywhere. Could you go there? Notice what's there, feel it, wherever it's been carried or stored. Could you just check it out? Be present with whatever feeling is stored wherever it is. It's okay not to label it. Could you witness this feeling without modifying it, explaining it? Just let it flow. And could you allow this feeling right now a little more? And you can carry it into any more interactions. It's always an option. And could you surrender it? Give it up. Would you surrender it if you could and be free and free them or that for a new experience? You never have to. And when could you? Later? Never? Now? It's just a choice. And what's it been like the last time you did that, had that, saw them, met them, went there? What was it like last time, or the last 10 times, or however many times? You remember? Did you check out the archives, the stored energy? It seems like it's about that or them. And for just a moment, could you detach that energy from that picture? Could you feel the feeling, ignoring the thoughts, the images? Just feel that. Could you turn the feeling up, open up, allow more of it up? Could you hold on to this feeling? Keep it. The thoughts are automatic. Could you just let them drift by or be there and focus on the feeling and hold on to it? Don't let it go. I mean, you can if you want. Maybe keep it. Could you hold on to it as best you can? Keep that feeling. Hold that energy. More. And if you can hold on to it, you may have been for some time. Could you open up and release any of that energy, even just a little? You get to choose yes or no. And the answer is not so important that releasing happens as long as the feeling is allowed. And would you release a little of it, a lot of it, if you could? Any amount's fine. When could you release any or all of that feeling? You get what you give. Could you give that feeling release at some point? Maybe now? It's okay if never. Okay. So if you could give yourself any feeling anytime, what would you give yourself? Try something positive, maybe. Some love, some acceptance, courage, maybe even some bliss. You could give yourself anything ever, anytime. If you could, what would you give yourself? And could you give that feeling to yourself for every future interaction with this person, place, or thing? Now, there could be some resistance to that. If there's any resistance to giving yourself a positive feeling next time with this or them, could you welcome that resistance? Could you even resist more? Really resist giving yourself a positive feeling next time with this, that, them. Could you let the resistance be there as best you can? Just aware of it. You never have to drop the resistance. Just could you drop the resistance? Would you drop the resistance if you could and give yourself that good feeling next time? Maybe even right now. When could you release the resistance and allow a positive experience next time? And what's another positive? It could be the same thing. Though you could give yourself anything, you get what you give. What would you give yourself next time you go into this situation? Maybe some fun, happiness, some thankfulness, some joy, or even just neutrality. Don't have to shoot for the moon. You can give yourself anything going into this situation, this person, place, or thing again, but something positive, even if it's lightly positive. you could give yourself. Just a choice. And could you notice any refusal to do that? Any resistance? Any aversion to changing from the familiar past? That's okay. Could you let the resistance roll? Resist that positive feeling more. And could you resist that positive feeling more? Refuse it, deny it. It's like saying no to it. You just say no to that positive feeling. Say yes to the resistance. And could you don't have to, could you surrender that resistance, that refusal? Would you surrender the resistance if you could and give yourself what you choose? And you can give yourself positive or negative. Would you allow yourself the full spectrum of possibility by dropping the resistance to the positive? When there's only one time, right now. So maybe never, maybe later. When could you drop the resistance and give yourself some positive, whatever you chose? And if any of that resistance is dropped off, could you just allow that positive choice of yours, that new transmission to flow into any future interactions with this person, place, or thing? Flow into yourself as you approach, as you enter, you're with this person, place, or thing. Could you just let that positive feeling in? Let it up, let it flow. And allow that as much as you want. What are you creating next time?